Numbers 11, fire from the Lord, quail from the Lord, and the burden of leadership. Numbers 11 is a turning point. The journey has just begun, and already the people are complaining. First, fire from the Lord consumes some on the outskirts of the camp. Then the rabble stirs up a craving for meat. The people weep, longing for Egypt, despising the manna, the bread from heaven. Moses, overwhelmed, cries out to God in despair. He would rather die than carry this burden alone. God answers with judgment, but also with grace. He gives the Spirit to 70 elders to share the burden. He sends quail, not for a day or two, but for a whole month. But the meat is still between their teeth when the plague strikes. This chapter shows us the darkness of the human heart, the weight of leadership, and the faithfulness of God, even in judgment. Let's walk through it with humility now. The people complained about their hardships in the hearing of the Lord, and when he heard them, his anger was aroused. Then fire from the Lord burned among them and consumed some of the outskirts of the camp. When the people cried out to Moses, he prayed to the Lord, and the fire died down. So that place was called Taberah, because fire from the Lord had burned among them, quail from the Lord. The rabble with them began to crave other food, and again the Israelites started wailing and said, "If only we had meat to eat. We remember the fish we ate in Egypt at no cost, also the cucumbers, melons, leeks, onions, and garlic. But now we have lost our appetite. We never see anything but this manna." The manna was like coriander seed and looked like resin. The people went around gathering it and then ground it in a hand mill or crushed it in a mortar. They cooked it in a pot or made it into loaves, and it tasted like something made with olive oil. When the dew settled on the camp at night, the manna also came down. Moses heard the people of every family wailing at the entrance to their tents. The Lord became exceedingly angry, and Moses was troubled. He asked the Lord, "Why have you brought this trouble on your servant? What have I done to displease you that you put the burden of all these people on me? Did I conceive all these people? Did I give them birth? Why do you tell me to carry them in my arms, as a nurse carries an infant, to the land you promised on oath to their ancestors? Where can I get meat for all these people? They keep wailing to me, 'Give us meat to eat.' I cannot carry all these people by myself. The burden is too heavy for me. If this is how you are going to treat me, please go ahead and kill me, if I have found favor in your eyes, and do not let me face my own ruin." The Lord said to Moses, "Bring me 70 of Israel's elders who are known to you as leaders and officials among the people. Have them come to the tent of meeting, that they may stand there with you. I will come down and speak with you there, and I will take some of the power of the Spirit that is on you and put it on them. They will share the burden of the people with you so that you will not have to carry it alone. Tell the people, 'Consecrate yourselves in preparation for tomorrow when you will eat meat. The Lord heard you when you wailed. If only we had meat to eat. We were better off in Egypt. Now the Lord will give you meat, and you will eat it. You will not eat it for just 1 day or 2 days or 5, 10, or 20 days, but for a whole month until it comes out of your nostrils and you loathe it. Because you have rejected the Lord who is among you, and have wailed before him, saying, 'Why did we ever leave Egypt?' But Moses said, 'Here I am among 600,000 men on foot, and you say, I will give them meat to eat for a whole month. Would they have enough if flocks and herds were slaughtered for them? Would they have enough if all the fish in the sea were caught for them?' The Lord answered Moses, 'Is the Lord's arm too short? Now you will see whether or not what I say will come true for you.' So Moses went out and told the people what the Lord had said. He brought together 70 of their elders and had them stand around the tent. Then the Lord came down in the cloud and spoke with him, and he took some of the power of the Spirit that was on him and put it on the 70 elders. When the Spirit rested on them, they prophesied, but did not do so again. However, 2 men whose names were Eldad and Medad had remained in the camp. They were listed among the elders, but did not go out to the tent. Yet the Spirit also rested on them, and they prophesied in the camp. A young man ran and told Moses, "Eldad and Medad are prophesying in the camp." Joshua, son of Nun, who had been Moses' aide since youth, spoke up and said, "Moses, my lord, stop them." But Moses replied, "Are you jealous for my sake? I wish that all the Lord's people were prophets and that the Lord would put his Spirit on them." Then Moses and the elders of Israel returned to the camp. Now a wind went out from the Lord and drove quail in from the sea. It scattered them up to 2 cubits deep all around the camp, as far as a day's walk in any direction. All that day and night and all the next day the people went out and gathered quail. No one gathered less than 10 homers. See, then they spread them out all around the camp. But while the meat was still between their teeth and before it could be consumed, the anger of the Lord burned against the people, and he struck them with a severe plague. Therefore, the place was named Kibroth Hattaavah, because there they buried the people who had craved other food. From Kibroth Hattaavah, the people traveled to Hazeroth and stayed there. Lesson 70 Noan Teachings. One complaint is not harmless. It brings fire. The people complained. Fire from the Lord burned among them. 11. When the people's complaint was not a minor grumble. It was a rebellion, and fire came. God takes complaining seriously because it reveals a heart of ingratitude and distrust. For us, do you complain about your circumstances? About God's provision? About your leaders? A complaint is not harmless. It brings fire. Choose gratitude instead. 2. Familiarity can breed contempt for God's provision. We have nothing but this manna to look at. 11:6. The manna was a daily miracle, bread from heaven. But after months of eating it, the people despised it. They forgot slavery. They remembered only the food. Familiarity made them blind to the miracle. For us, have you grown tired of God's provision? Your daily bread, your health, your family, your church? Do you take them for granted? Familiarity is dangerous. Cultivate gratitude. 3. Leadership is heavy. Leaders need prayer and support. I cannot carry all these people alone. If this is how you treat me, please kill me. 11:14 a.m. 15. Moses was at the end of himself. The burden of leadership was crushing him. He cried out in raw, honest desperation. God did not condemn him, he provided help. For us, do you pray for your leaders? Do you support them? Do you add to their burden or lighten it? Leaders need your prayers. And if you are a leader, be honest with God about your struggles. 4. God shares his spirit. No one leads alone. I will take some of the spirit on you and put it on them. 11:17 a.m. Moses was not meant to carry the burden alone. God shared the spirit with 70 elders. They prophesied, confirming their calling. The burden was distributed. Moses was not alone. For us, do you try to do everything yourself? Do you refuse help? God gives gifts to others to share the load. Learn to delegate. Learn to share. Learn to receive help. 5. Moses longed for all of God's people to be filled with the Spirit. I wish that all the Lord's people were prophets and that the Lord would put his Spirit on them. 11:29 a.m. Joshua was jealous for Moses' sake, but Moses was not threatened. He wanted more Spirit, not less. His heart was for all of God's people to be filled. For us, do you hoard spiritual gifts? Are you jealous when others are used by God? Or do you rejoice when the Spirit moves, even outside your camp? Pray for more Spirit, not less. 6. Craving what we should not have leads to death. While the meat was still between their teeth, the Lord struck them with a severe plague. 11:33 a.m. The people craved meat, not because they needed it, but because they rejected God's provision. God gave them what they wanted, but with judgment. Their craving became their grave. The place was called Kibroth Hattaavah, graves of craving. For us, what are you craving that God has not given? What provision are you rejecting? Be careful what you ask for. Sometimes God gives, and the gift becomes a grave.
Let's continue studying the book of Numbers. Subscribe, like, comment, and hit notification button for more videos, more Bible study, and more Bible knowledge. We got you.